Screech by Taran NCT on AO3. Episode 26, Chapter 27. Hizashi was in the kitchen making tea, while both Keigo and Shouta were sitting at the dining room table. They had all agreed that Izuku was not going to go to the summer camp. He was currently in his room with both Hitoshi and Denki watching him, making sure he didn't hurt himself. And it was a legitimate worry. Denki had already told everyone how Izuku had tried to use his talons on himself a few times while at the mall. If they let Izuku come to the camp, there wouldn't be enough supervision on him, and there was no way Hizashi was going to put his feathery baby into a hospital for a suicide watch, even if he needed it. That wouldn't help Izuku. He needed to be surrounded by the people who loved him, not emotionally detached nurses that either checked in every 10 minutes or watched him through a camera. Hizashi finished the tea and brought the cups to the table and took a seat himself. I'll be able to call from patrols, but I still need to go to the station. I can take him with me then. Keigo nodded at that. I can't take off from patrols, but I can watch him during the nights. I hate to suggest this, but... Shouta started. Would it be a bad thing if we put a quirk-canceling cuff on him? That way he can't slip out a window, if you need to use the bathroom like he did with me. Keigo clearly wanted to refuse, but he also knew that Izuku could sneak away. No, Hizashi whispered. He told us before that the only reason he doesn't try jumping anymore is because his wings come out. If you put a cuff on him, he'll just jump. Shouta finished. Shit. Denki held Izuku's sleeping form in his lap, running his fingers through his hair, while Hitoshi was playing with his hand. Izuku had been zoned out for most of the day, but came to long enough to make a fairly deep cut on his wrist before either Denki or Hitoshi had noticed. Hitoshi had pulled him under his quirk and ordered him to go to sleep as they patched up his wrist. They had told the adults right away, naturally, and both Mike and Hawks had started crying, but they also trusted Denki and Hitoshi to take care of Izuku. Izuku let out a soft hoot in his sleep, and Denki smiled at him. He'll be okay, right? He asked Hitoshi, quietly. Yeah, he'll be okay. He doesn't have a choice, Hitoshi said with a mild grimace. Denki grinned. Oh, ominous positivity. I approve. Hitoshi sighed. He's my brother. He needs to be okay. I need him to be okay. I've wanted a sibling for years, and now I have one. I'm not letting him go. Denki nodded. I get it, man. I do. He started tracing Izuku's freckles with his hand that wasn't in his hair. Izuku's just so kind, sweet, smart. I know we've only been dating for a little while, but I don't want to let him go either. They continued to sit there in silence, just being there for their sweet little green owl, when the door opened wider and Aizawa entered, followed by Mike. How's he doing? Denki hesitated, but Hitoshi looked Aizawa right in the eye and said, He can't come to camp. Dad, please don't let him come to camp. Denki's eyes, never leaving Izuku's sleeping face, nodded in agreement. I'll stay here to keep him company. Aizawa sat at the edge of the bed and sighed. No, Kaminari, you need the benefits that the camp will provide you with. You can't stay here. I'm sorry. Denki closed his eyes and nodded slowly. But don't worry. We already discussed it. Izuku's going to be staying here with Sashi and Keigo. He won't be alone. Ever. That's good, Hitoshi murmured. He's going to be seeing Hound Dog a bit more, right? Daily, yeah. Hisashi's going to be keeping us updated while we're at camp. Izuku's going to be okay. Aizawa gently tugged at one of Izuku's curls. You want to do what? Handjob hissed at Katsuki. You heard me, crusty McFuck. I want to kill a fucking bird. I would have had him at the mall if you hadn't ruined everything. Katsuki was still pissed about that. Deku had been defeated, seated on the ground, ready for Katsuki to end it. But that stupid fucking portal had to pop up and ruin everything. Don't be stupid, kid. He rolled his eyes. If the owl kid had been in his right mind, he would have destroyed you. He killed my Nomu. and the Nomu had a regeneration quirk. Katsuki growled at him. Well, that useless Deku wasn't in his right mind. I had him. The heroes would have caught you. I don't give a fuck. I just want to kill that damn bird. Now, he's gonna be surrounded by people who can protect themselves, not a bunch of civilians, so he'll be able to focus on the fight. Katsuki let loose a few explosions from his hands. I'm gonna have to hurt someone else to get him thrown off his game. You actually want to antagonize the bird? What the fuck is wrong with you, kid? Handjob was scratching at his neck madly. No, we're not doing anything to get on that bird's bad side. Huh? You scared of a useless-ass bird, you crusty bitch? Katsuki's explosions started to get bigger. Fine, I'll take him on my own. I only joined up because I literally don't have anywhere else to go. But I want that bird dead. I will fry that chicken if it's the last thing I do. And since you work for me, I said no, you won't. Katsuki glared at the crusty handjob. He had already told him what his quirk was, so all Katsuki had to do was avoid his hands. Katsuki grinned darkly at handjob. Just try to stop me. Shigaraki Tomura, please rethink this. If he does not wish to cooperate... The warp gate guy started, but was interrupted. Shut up, Kirigiri. If he wants a fight, then that's what he'll get. Handjob screamed before he lunged at Katsuki, palms out and ready to decay Katsuki's face. Katsuki took a step back, with a smirk, let loose an explosion that blasted Krusty into the back wall. The fight didn't last much longer. Soon the crusty shit was on the floor, missing almost the entire right half of his body. A purple portal brought both Krusty and Katsuki into a dark room with a man in a suit, wearing some weird metal mask on his face. Sensei! Krusty managed to barely get out. Help. Oh, Tomura, the man said fondly. You picked a fight you couldn't win. The man gently placed his hand on Krusty's head. I had hoped you would grow out of this impulsive place, but it seems I miscalculated your usefulness. What? Krusty wasn't able to finish his sentence, his body, finally, giving out on him. The masked man turned to Katsuki, and Katsuki was sure the man was grinning at him, even though he couldn't see any part of his face. Well now, it seems Tomura's League of Villains is in need of a new leader. Would you be interested? The man held out his hand to Katsuki. Katsuki grinned, and took his hand. It's a pleasure doing business with you, Bakugou Katsuki. Namayasa was rubbing his temples as he stared at the report that had just been delivered to his desk. One of the underground heroes in the area had stumbled across the body in an alleyway, and upon identification, it had turned out to be Shigaraki Tomura, or rather, what was left of him. He was missing most of his right side. The injury showed clear scorch marks, as if he had been hit by an explosion. And from the incident at the Kashio Ward shopping center the other day, Bakugou Katsuki, who had managed to escape with the assailant of a warp gate, the same one that had brought the League of Villains into the USJ, was the most likely suspect for this murder. Perhaps Bakugou did not willingly join their ranks. Maybe he was attempting to be a vigilante. No, that did not make sense. He killed innocent people at a mall. Perhaps they didn't see eye to eye, and had a violent disagreement. Perhaps he was killed in an escape attempt. Namayasa didn't know what was going to happen next, but he was sure it wasn't going to be pretty. He sighed as he picked up the phone. He needed to update both Nezu and Toshinori about this. They were both involved in the League of Villains case, and Nezu in particular might have some insight to share. Shouta sighed as he put his phone back into his pocket after reading the text from Hizashi. Izuku didn't eat breakfast, and Keigo had said he didn't really sleep either. Shouta knew that Izuku was going to be spending a few hours with Ima today, and that in the evening he would be with Keigo. Hopefully he'll be a little better, and tonight's message from Hizashi wouldn't make him feel guilty for still taking the class on a camping trip. Looking up, Shouta just managed to catch the look of terror on most of the faces in his class as Pixie Bob sent them over the ledge to start the camp. Hitoshi, Shouta, and Kaminari had been watching him closely, And so they didn't have a look of fear, but rather a look of resignation as they fell. Manday walked up to him, worry clear in her eyes. I thought there was supposed to be 18 kids, but I only counted 17. Where's the last one? Izuku, he's staying home, Shouta said quietly. He had a rough week. Pixie Bob raised an eyebrow. That never stopped you from bringing a student before. Shouta glared mildly at her. He was out on a date a few days ago and a villain attack hit him at the mall. He didn't fight back, only dodged, and the villain killed and injured a few civilians while trying to get him. Izuku had already worked through some pretty crippling self-esteem and depressive issues. But right now, he's also on a 24-hour suicide watch. There wouldn't be enough supervision for him out here. Mayday's expression was sad, but she understood. Pixie Bob winced and asked, I'm sure you have your reasons, but if he reacts like that around a villain, are you sure this is the right career path for him? Shouta smiled warily at them. This is going to sound like an odd transition, but have either of you heard of the Vigilante Screech? Oh yeah, he's been active in Masatafu for about 3 years before he disappeared a few months ago, right? He had, what was it, like a 90% capture rate? With no casualties and minimal property damage? Pixie Bob replied, I've heard that there was a talk about putting him in some kind of reform program to get him an actual license since he's so good. Shouta nodded. Yeah, I managed to talk Screech into turning himself in a while back. He lives with me now, and he only just recently turned 16. His name is Midoriya Izuku, and he's the student missing from this camp, staying home to ensure he gets help for the events that happened the past week. Shouta took a deep breath. Izuku is my son, and he's going to be an amazing hero. Alright, again, because this is such a heavy episode. It's not as heavy as like last time, but it's still heavy. I mean, actually, it's kind of heavy as itself. I want to, for those who are having a hard time, hi, hello. I hope you are gonna feel better. If you need to read some fluff, go ahead and go read some fluff. There is amazing fluff out there, and there's, go into my bookmarks on my AO3, and there's probably a good fluff fic out there in there somewhere. Probably Hurt Comfort, but yeah, never mind. Don't go into my bookmarks. No, don't. Yeah, no, don't do that. Don't do that. No, don't do that. Okay, don't. But moving on from that, I want you guys to tell me down in the description, what is your favorite? Okay, I have to think about this because it can't just be basic. I've said flower. No, we need something super interesting. What could it be? What could it be, guys? I'm thinking. What is your favorite abstract color? Now, what I mean by abstract color, I mean, yes, my favorite colors are black and white. Surprisingly, it's not blue, since I literally have blue hair. I dye my hair blue. Look, blue is my color, but it's not my favorite color. Look, my hair being blue, that's me. People think of blue hair, they think of me, okay? Blue hair is me, all right? I've tried many different colors, but blue is just, it's what makes me pop. It's what makes me feel confident, whatever. Point taken is, it's not my favorite color. And as much as I want to get my hair white, that's not gonna happen. But abstracts colors in the sense of the aurora borealis is an abstract color because it's a gradient of colors, or sunrise or sunset. Personally, my favorite abstract color is a field of flowers. The look of green and different vibrant pinks, purples, reds, yellows, and the colors of the blue sky all together matching to make that perfect picture is a really pretty thing to me. Or, for example, underwater colors, specifically like when it's like really clear at top and then it just gets, darker and darker at the bottom. That is an abstract color that I absolutely love. The color of the ocean. It is absolutely amazing. It's breathtaking, even. Or the color that, the shine that a pool reflects, that weird watery texture kind of shine that it reflects onto stone. That is a beautiful color that I love. See, abstract colors. I want to hear about your guys' favorite abstract colors. I have multiple because abstract colors are so amazing and they can paint such a big picture, right? But think those two. Ignore the field one. The field one is less of an abstract color and more of a favorite scenery. So think of, you know, how underwater looks like, the underwater ocean, the deep open ocean. And if you're scared of the ocean, I'm sorry for giving you that imagery. Or the shine of a pool reflecting onto stone, right? That metallic-y, it's not even just metallic-y, it's like ripple-y effect, right? That, I love that, all right? I love that. Or the look of, what's it called? The fog. Have you ever seen a foggy sunset? It is breathtaking, all right? Okay, I was little, there was a, it was a fog. It wasn't a very big, heavy fog, right? Because I could still see the sky and I could still see the horizon, right? And it was breathtaking how the fog clouded it a bit, and it was really cloudy to begin with, so the sunset looked immaculate. Honestly, it looked beautiful. Or another abstract color is the look of the night sky in a high-top mountain. That vibrancy is just, it's something you can never compare again, you know? So, favorite abstract color, go ahead and put it in the comments. Also, Bakugou Katsuki, what the fuck? Anyway, that's all I'm gonna talk about bats, because that's not where I thought that was. Whoa. We're not opening up that can of worms. Anyways, as always, my raindrops, make sure to eat, sleep, drink water, take your meds. Have a wonderful day or night. Link to my Discord server and socials are down in the description. Subscribe to see more of my content, and thank you so much for watching.